Yo, what's going on everybody? You have Tone here, the coach of your Maine Red Clawitzers, and I am here bringing you guys week 1 of season 6 of the Major Pokemon League, and where your Maine Red Clawitzers this week will be taking on the Rotterdam Staraptors and their head coach Frieslander. Be sure to check them out in the description down below. Very chill guy, very nice person to get to know in the draft league community, especially for someone if you're trying to get into doing like graphic designs for other leagues or doing your own stuff. Frieslander is one of the best, if not the best, graphic designer to go to in terms of that aspect. So just let's get right into the matchup here. As you can see, my opponent has decided to bring the Tornadus-Therian, the Megalopony, the Florges, the Ranunculus, the Nidoqueen, and the Tangrowth. So I pretty much called his entire team. Like I said, the only real toss-up was whether or not he was going to be bringing the Florges or the Scizor to this matchup, and I figured Florges would be more likely because to have that extra response to the Hydreigon. So I will link the team builder in the description down below. The team builder will go up the day before this video goes up, so just so you can have an idea of the sets I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, and all that stuff. So for a more condensed version of what I'm bringing for this matchup, I have a Trick 3 attacks choice specs Garde-voir. I am bringing a Adamant physical choice scarf Hydreigon, a Stealth Rock 3 attacks Swampert, with Rocky Helmet, a Rocky Helmet defensive Arcanine, a mixed defensive Mega Venusaur, and a mixed defensive, mostly specially defensive Celesteela. So in terms of the lead matchup, as I talked about in the team builder I did say that Garde-voir was going to be my dedicated lead because I felt as though he was going to lead off with that Torrentine no matter what, just to have that advantage and to scout out what I would do to lead off with and how I would respond in this in that situation. So we're going to start the battle here and see how we do in our first week in the Major Pokemon League for season number 6. So funny story here, as so pretty much what's going to happen here is, like, whoops, sorry about that. But anyway, we are challenged by Frieslander. We're going to lead off. He's going to lead off with his Torrentine. I'm going to lead off with my Garde-voir. And funny enough, we did have a disconnect here, where after turn 1 was he goes for Hurricane, he connects, and he's going to confuse me. I'm going to break through the confusion. So pretty much, he Hurricanes me. I get confused. We break through the confusion, and we're going to hit him up with a choice specs side shock, and as you can see, that is going to do a tremendous amount of damage here. Now I know he's going to try to preserve this Torrentine because he needs this for my Mega Venusaur and whatnot, so he's going to go into his Ranunculus here. I'm going to pull a double, not really a double, but I'm going to switch out myself and go into my Celesteela. And I'm just going to go for a heavy slam just to gauge and see what kind of Ranunculus this is. And that did not as much damage as I hoped. He's going to reveal the Nightshade on the Ranunculus here. So this is pretty much telling me that this is not a setup Ranunculus. This is not going to be a Calm Mind set or a Trick Room variant of Ranunculus here. So I'm going to switch out here. And I'm going to go back into my Garde-voir here in case he tries to just to scout and see what he plans on doing here. As he does go for, and I do see Magic Guard. I'm thinking when I saw Nightshade, I was thinking he was a Assault Vest Regenerator. So I figured I'd go into Garde-voir here, Trace the Regenerator, and then switch back out, expecting him to go for like a side shock or anything. But he goes hard into his Megalopony here. I'm going to hit it up with a Choice Specs boosted Moonblast, and we're going to just blow that thing back. So right away, Megalopony is down, and I cannot be happier. Let's give him a free switch into the Nidoqueen here. I'm going to go out into my Swampert here, as I figure he'd just go try to get up his Stealth Rock this turn, and sure enough, he does do just that. So I wanted the opportunity here to get up my own rocks, knowing he's not going to want to take an Earthquake here, as he goes out directly into his Tangrowth, as I expected. So I'm going to go get up my Stealth Rocks this turn, and knowing the matchup's not in my favor, I'm going to switch out and I'm going to go hard into my Arcanine here, because I feel as though Arcanine, I could have went to Venusaur, I really could have here, but I felt as though going hard Arcanine would put the immediate pressure on this Tangrowth here. He decided to go for Elite Seed here, so now I'm thinking, okay, he's not Assault Vest. With that information just told me he's not an Assault Vest Tangrowth, which is good information to note here, as he's going to switch out here. He's going to go back into his Nidoqueen here. I am just going to click Flare Blitz here, get some damage off on whatever wants to come in. And as you can see, that does a good amount of damage, even though I'm pretty much uninvested Arcanine here. But this is good to do. This is good for me because of the fact that me wearing down this Nidoqueen makes it a lot easier for me in the late game. Well, for my Garde-voir. So he's going to make an over prediction here. He's going to go for the Ice Beam. He's going to go into Hydreigon. I'm just going to stand in and click Flare Blitz here, because all I need to do is just weaken this thing for my Garde-voir here. So now Arcanine's going to drop to the Elite Seed, so that is a kill for the Tangrowth. So now what I'm going to do now is go out into my Hydreigon. I'm just going to click U-turn here because I have no reason not to. He's going to let this Nidoqueen drop to the U-turn, which is absolutely perfect for me. So with the Nidoqueen being down, it pretty much ensures that nothing on his team now wants to switch in and take a Choice Specs Moonblast from my Garde-voir. Sure, the Florges can come in, but with Stealth Rock up, it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to switch in freely as he goes out into the Torn. Now, I don't know if he's Fire Emblem Z, because if he is, he would take out my Celesteela from this range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Swampert and scout for the Z Heat Wave. And he's going to go for catch me off guard, go for the U-turn, but little does he know, I'm Rocky Helmet on my Swampert, so I get some chip damage off on this Torn as I go out back into his Ridiculous. And I figure at this point, what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to force the rest of his set. So I'm trying to I'm lost for words here. I'm using my Swampert to force the rest of his moveset here. He does reveal the Recover. I figured he would have that, seeing as though he was Match Guard, that Regenerator. So I figured just keep clicking Earthquake. I pretty much lose nothing by doing so, because even if he goes Tangrowth here, I have a Mega Venusaur on the back, so it doesn't matter here. He reveals the Shadow Ball, so I've seen Shadow Ball, I've seen Recover, and I've seen Nightshade. His fourth move has to be a Psychic move, so he can't touch my my Hydreigon. So I'm going to go hard Hydreigon here, expecting him to not have Signal Beam, and he does just go for the Recover again. So what this allows me to do here is allows me to just go for a free U-turn here, expecting him to switch out and preserve his Ridiculous, and he does do just that. He goes right into his Tangrowth here. And as I'm going to the Stealth Rock, he's going to get the chip down from the Stealth Rock. I'm going to go for the U-turn here, and he also reveals to be Rocky Helmet himself, which is fine by me, because what it allows me to do is go directly out into my Garde-voir, and I just get to fire off a powerful Choice Specs Moonblast on whatever wants to come in. So he either has to switch something in or let this thing go down. He has to let this Tangrowth go down to the Choice Specs Moonblast. So Garde-voir already putting in the work, picking up 2 kills in this game. In comes the the Torn T. I still don't know what his item is, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go into my Swampert again to scout and see what kind of item he is. I didn't see a Life Orb, but he's going to go for the Hurricane. He's going to hit and do a good amount of damage here. Now he's not going to risk Hurricane missing. He's going to go out into his Ridiculous. I'm just going to click Ice Punch this turn here. Just figures it's a no drawback play. He's going to go for and now I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. He's going to do make a good play here, double back into his Torn, expecting me to go for an Earthquake this turn, but it's totally fine by me because I want to see what the rest of this moveset is, and I finally get him to reveal the Grass Knot on the Torn. So Swampert's going to go down here, but because the contact move, he takes Rocky Helmet damage, so my Swampert goes down, but all for a good cause, as my Hydreigon gets to come back in, and I get to click U-turn for free because it's in range of U-turn for my Hydreigon. He's forced to go into his Florges, and I'm going to get the U-turn off, and I'm going to go out into my Mega Venusaur this turn, and finally get the Mega Evolution off on my Venusaur. And what's allowed me to do now is, after I Mega Evolve here, I'm just going to click Sleep Powder, because unless that Torn T is Safety Goggles, he has no Sleep Powder immunities. The only way he can benefit from this is if I miss a sleep powder. He's gonna go for the protect to scout what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna go for a sleep powder. Obviously, it's not gonna help him, but what he's gonna do now is after getting leftover recovery, he's going to switch out and go into his Ranunculus, as I am going to go for another sleep powder. And as you're going to see, we are going to land the sleep powder here. So now what's going to happen is, if I get the max turn of rolls of turns of him being asleep, which is 3, if I get 3 turns of sleep with this Ranunculus, he had to burn 1 right here because he didn't burn 1 yet. So if he burns 3 turns of sleep, I can take out the Ranunculus with Sludge Bomb because he has no Sludge Bomb switch, and since Nidoqueen went down. So I get 1 turn of sleep, go for Sludge Bomb, and I get a 2nd turn of sleep, and I get to go for Sludge Bomb again the following turn. So if he stays asleep this upcoming turn, we take out the Ranunculus with Sludge Bomb, go for Sludge Bomb this turn, almost knock it out, and we get the 3 turns of sleep. So that was super lucky for me, because I know he would have just woken up and gone for a recover. I would have gone for Psychic and all that stuff, but I get to go for a Sludge Bomb again and take out this Ranunculus. So one more nuisance out of the way. In comes the Torn T again. Now, unless he's Expert Belt or he is Flying EMZ, he can take me out with Hurricane, but unfortunately he does miss the Hurricane this turn, as I get to take out the Torn with the Sludge Bomb. And that's pretty much going to be the game, because his last Pokemon is the Florigist. He's going to go for the Protect, and I am going to just go for the Sludge Bomb here. And I think it was after this turn where afterwards so what happened this turn was, it was pretty funny, because as you see, I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb here, trying to take out this Florigist and get a crit. But what happens afterwards is we were pretty much messing around at this point, because the game's already over. Like, there's literally no way for me to lose this battle between my Celesteela and my Mega Venusaur, and I have a Choice Specs Garde-voir in the back. So between those 3 Pokemon, there's absolutely no way this Florigist can beat those 3 Pokemon by itself, especially considering he has Protect. He has to have Moonblast for Hydreigon, and the fact that he had Protect, he had to have Wish, as you're going to see here. So he's Wish, Protect, Moonblast. If his 4th move is Hidden Power Fire, then it still wouldn't matter, because he can't beat my Venusaur, and HP Fire is not going to do anything to Celesteela, even if he was max special attack invested and modest nature. So these next few turns are just going to be like stally. Well, not really stally, but it's just Frieslander and myself just goofing around with him constantly just going for Wish, Protect, and I'm just gonna start, at some point I'm gonna start spamming Hidden Power, and then towards the end I'm gonna take it out eventually. So so basically, you're probably wondering at this point, at this point in the game's already over. Why are we prolonging the inevitable? Well, this, to anyone who knows the history between Frieslander and myself, this is the 4th time we've battled in League format, and every time we've played in League format, it has always come at either week 1 or the first week where one of us joins in a league. Going back to the first time we battled was MPL Minor Season 3, Week 1, we played. And then the next time we battled, MPL Minor Season 4, Week 1, where we played. And then Frieslander came into the MPL last season as a replacement coach, and his very first game was against me. And now here we are again with us playing Week 1 in a league. So it got to the point where if you're going to keep matching the 2 of us together Week 1, then we're not going to care at this point, because we know the game is over. We're just going to mess around towards the end here. This is more so towards, this is not really aimed at anyone particular, but that particular person knows who they are in terms of matching us up week number 1, and I'm not going to like mince words or point a regulator. Anyway, so So eventually the Star Wars is going to end. I think at some point I'm going to switch out of my Venusaur, go into Celesteela. I'm going to stall out for like 2 more turns, and then I go for Elite Seed with Celesteela, and then I Toxic, and then I finally Heavy Slam at like turn 50. Like this overall was a 50 turn battle, which technically should have ended at like turn 35. So we spent like the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm finally going to switch out and go into my Celesteela because I was running low on Sludge Bombs. That was the main reason why I switched out to Celesteela. But nonetheless, I'm gonna like end in like 3 more turns here, because I'm going to Elite Seed this turn. I think in my leftover recovery. Then I'm going to Toxic the Florges. He's gonna go for a Protect or a Heal Bell or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to Elite Seed this turn. Then I'm going to Toxic the next turn, and then I believe he went for Moonblast or one of those 2 moves. But at the end of the day, it's just pretty funny overall, man. Like these last few turns are actually like the best part of the game. Like it wasn't too hectic, it wasn't too serious. Like the game was already over. We were just messing around, having fun and whatnot, just like trying to stall, quote unquote. Because it's not really stall when the battle's already in, when the battle has already like it's already a foregone conclusion who's gonna win this matchup. So I believe this is the turn where I click I click Heavy Slam this turn. Here it goes for the Heal Bell, and then that's going to be the game, as we're finally going to put this Florges out of its misery, take it out with the Heavy Slam, and we're going to pick up a 4-0 win over the Rotterdam Staraptors and their coach Frieslander. So first and foremost, GG to Freeze. That was a pretty fun game, not gonna lie. Overall though, I felt as though I played the match very, very close to the vest. Oops, sorry about that, my mic dropped. Anyway, I felt like the game itself was very, very fun. There wasn't really any notable hacks aside from the Hurricane miss on my Mega Venusaur, but like I said, unless the Torn T was Expert Belt, because he didn't show Life Orb, unless he was Expert Belt or he was Flyinium Z and he was bluffing it the entire match, he was not taking out my Mega Venusaur from the range of HP it was at, unless he got a crit. And even if he got a crit on my Venusaur, I still have my Hydreigon in the back to pressure it out with U-turn. And then since all he had left was the Torn and the Florges, I would have just U-turn out into Celesteela and just click Heavy Slam to get the game over with that way. So roughly it was going to be either a 3-0 or a 4-0. In this case it was a 4-0. But anyway, that's pretty much the game in a nutshell. Like, I'm really happy about how the team performed. I'm really happy about the way I played, first and foremost. But overall, every Pokemon on my team put in work this game, regardless of whether or not it got kills or whatnot. Garde-voir putting on the pressure in this game. I felt as though Garde-voir was a true MVP of this battle, picking up 2 kills, getting rid of the Megalopony earlier, which I can't talk right now, but really surprised that he went hard Lopunny in front of the Garde-voir. That really surprised me. I thought he was going to go Nidoqueen instead. But nonetheless, Garde-voir picking up the kill on the Megalopony, Garde-voir blowing back the the Tangrowth with Moonblast. Hydreigon keeping up the momentum with a U-turn was great for my team overall. Swampert was instrumental in making sure Stealth Rock got up and pressured his team with Earthquakes and Ice Punches. Arcanine wearing now that Nidoqueen, putting into a position where Garde-voir can just spam Moonblast for the rest of the match. And then Mega Venusaur and Celesteela just doing what it does best and just sponging hits and putting that pressure on the opposing team. But nonetheless, that is a good way to start the season. 1-0 plus 4 differential. I am very, very happy about how I played this matchup, and I hope you guys did enjoy this battle. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, all that stuff. Again, feel free to check out my opponent Frieslander in the description, as well as all the other coaches in the MPL. This is going to be a fun season, I can feel it. And yeah, this is a good way to start the season. 1-0 +4, and I feel as though we're just getting started here as far as I'm concerned. But that's going to be it from me, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy nonetheless, and until next week where we take on Melantosh and the Exeter Chief Electivires, this is Tone, signing off for now. Peace out.